So today I'm going to share just a few facts about foods that help with survival, with help with prevention, and I'm so happy to be here. So today's mission possible is to translate scientific research, complex information, into simple, actionable solutions. You know, people who come to my office, my patients, I always tell them it's not that you're not here because you don't know what to do. My job is to help you sort through the information and help you get on an action plan that's realistic for your particular lifestyle and what your needs are. Anyone coming through my door may not be at a certain level to give up certain foods. I can still help them. So the key is to close your eyes, open them a year down the line and say, can I keep up with this? If the answer is yes, you're on a good path. So the other mission is to simply change the way you think about what you put in your body. Now, nutrition is there to support you. It doesn't treat cancer. It doesn't cure cancer. It supports treatment outcome. It helps you during your treatment. And it supports long-term survival. Here's an example of one research study. I'm just going to share a little bit because of timing. This is a study I actually was involved with for 10 years of my career, both at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center and at the John Wayne Cancer Institute, the WINS trial. And what it did is basically look at two different groups of women. An intervention arm that basically followed a 15%, mimicking the Japanese low-fat diet, and the other one had the typical USDA diet. And what the study found is that overall, the women that were on the low-fat diet had a 24% risk reduction of recurrence. And interestingly, ER negative, estrogen receptor negative women had a 42% risk reduction. So these are some pretty impressive numbers. The women were followed for many years with numerous dietitians around the country, 37 sites, encouraging. Another report, this is actually from last year, 2014, from the World Cancer Research Fund, again, supports physical activity, eating foods that contain fiber, so fiber, soy foods, fish, omega-3 fatty acids, all supported long-term survival. And yes, we have a lot of research out there, and there's more. I could just talk about research all day long. And nutrition, the bottom line is, it's confusing. I had somebody draw this for me because this is the classic phone call I'll get. I open my fridge and I'm just too scared. I don't know if what I'm going to put in my body is going to help fight cancer or it's going to support me. There's just so much information about nutrition and cancer and well-being. And you know what? Let's face it. Everyone's an expert because everyone eats. So, yeah. So today I'm going to share 5 key principles. There are many, but I'm just picked 5 for you. And one is to maintain a healthy weight. Now I realize some of you may be in different stages where trying to lose weight may not be the right time. So, but if it is the right time, trying to achieve a healthy weight is very, very important because having excess body fat increases inflammation, increases estrogen production, insulin levels rise. And the next principle is to toss the processed foods and eat real, wholesome foods. I can't stress this enough. Processed foods contain too many chemicals, too many compounds that just may be foreign in our bodies. Whole foods, I'm talking simple stuff, even stuff you find at the health food stores. Too much processing. So simple is best, things that your body knows how to process, and let's look at some processed foods. Next. I have something I trademark called the food autopsy alert, which is basically my look deep inside foods that appear seemingly healthy, but may not be. And a lot of my patients are guilty of a DUI, dining under the illusion that something's good for them. Let's have a look at just a couple. This was one victim that walked into my office. It's a spinach wrap. It looks reasonably healthy. But the victim here really is, where's the spinach? It's the wrap. What if I told you that when you look at those ingredients, 2% or less of the ingredient list states is from spinach powder? 2%. The green vibrancy comes, thanks to yellow number 5, blue number 1, and it's basically white bread that's been painted. I was tempted to bring some green paint. Painted green. So you're eating the equivalent of 3 slices of white bread that's been painted green. And there are probably some other things here. The chicken's probably heavily processed as well. Next. Also, seems so innocent, chicken noodle soup. What could be so wrong? And we all think, yes, it has so much sodium, but it has so much more. Modified food starch, MSG, soy protein isolate, processed chicken. So, and the carbohydrate equivalent of 2 slices of white bread from the noodles. Next. Next principle, fiber up. I know that you guys have heard over and over and over again that fiber is good for you. And it is, for so many good reasons. It supports breast health. It's your daily dose of detox, a natural detox. No fats, gut health, heart health, energy levels, blood sugar regulation. But the key, again, isn't what you know, it's knowing how much you need. How are you going to get what you need in a day? And that's where I come in telling you that the research tells me to tell you 30 to 35 grams of fiber daily is best for optimal breast health. Now, if you're going to attempt to rely on produce, you would basically, and I know some of you can't see this, but there is a huge basket here packed with produce. So if you can't see it, I'll describe it to you. Imagine a huge kitchen sink packed with fruits and vegetables. It's nearly impossible to do that. So that's why I prescribe for my patients a solution that involves an AM fiber insurance plan. Every day I ask them, did you get your fiber insurance? Fiber insurance means a minimum of 8 to 10 grams, and it should be from real fiber, not manufactured fibers. Like you'll see inulin and maltodextrin on, they don't harm you, but research shows that it doesn't help remove excess estrogen, cholesterol, things that we want to get out of our bodies. They just may fill you up a little bit, but they don't really work efficiently. So here's one example, and there are lots of examples. It's just knowing how to build that breakfast. And if you're walking out the door with 10 grams under your belt, you're a third of the way there, and it is obtainable. Simple, simple, simple solutions. Next. Number 4, proteins. I get this question all the time. Should I be vegan? What do I do? How do I choose the right proteins? So I'm going to review a little bit about that. Beans and legumes. Top of the line. Fiber, protein. It could reduce cholesterol, promotes weight loss, and it's so simple. You can get them to go at any Mexican restaurant. They have also vegan. They don't add lard. They're very inexpensive. One of my tips is to try to spot the sprouted varieties because it enhances absorption of the nutrients. a lot easier to digest. And also, we've been shunning away from cans, even if they're BPA free, because now there's something called BPS. So we go to Tetra Paks. Do you guys know what Tetra Paks are? Okay, sorry. I forgot. Hold on. I was contemplating whether I should do that or not, but I forgot I put it in my purse. This is a Tetra Pak. Like almond milk that you see in the store, it's basically that kind of pack. And we contacted the company. There is no BPS in this, no BPA, and it's organic, it's low in sodium, or you can get a sodium-free. I got this at Target, $1.70. Whole Foods has their own brand, the 365, a little cheaper. Easy, it comes in so many varieties. Will I feel satisfied? That's a question I get. This is black beans. These are beans, by the way. I meant Tetra Paks instead of canned beans. I'm sorry, we were talking about beans, so I assumed I shouldn't have done that. Will I feel satisfied is another question that I get all the time from eating beans as opposed to chicken or beef. There was a study that just came out, and the post-meal satisfactions for beans versus beef was a tie. It was a tie. People are feeling just as full from eating beans and legumes versus beef. Of course, in fiber, beans won, and protective nutrients, of course, beans won as well. Next. Next. This is a new act for me. To soy or not to soy? That is a question that for years, I'd say every day of a 15-year practice has come up. So I had to put it in. Next. Whole organic sprouted soy is best. Women are scared to eat soy. So I'm going to share a little bit of evidence here. Evidence actually supports eating whole soy. There was a study published in JAMA that found that among 5,000 breast cancer survivors, those who ate the natural wholesome soy had a significantly lower rate of recurrence. And the American Cancer Society also has some guidelines for cancer survivors. They concluded that soy foods are not harmful for breast cancer survivors. On the contrary, it's protective. Now, just like any other food, we don't go crazy with it. People still ask, well, how many times should I eat it? Just like anything else. Divvy it up between your protein sources, 3-4 times a week, which was really what we were telling women before we had this information, when we were a little bit concerned. But the key is whole foods, not packaged processed soy isolates, wannabe hot dogs. We're talking natural tofu, tempeh, type of soy foods. Edamame, but organic, sprouted would be best. What's so great about soy? It's a great source of protein, a lot of antioxidants, essential minerals, fiber as well, cancer-fighting compounds, good stuff. Omega-3 fatty acids. That was the World Cancer Research Fund, the slide prior, also looked at omega-3s, and I do want to stress the importance of omega-3s from fish. Low mercury, high omega-3 fish. There's a benefit to plant omega-3s, but the body doesn't process them in the same way, which is something we can discuss in the breakout session. So the bottom line is to reduce inflammation. We want to shift our body fat composition to be higher in omega-3 fats, lower in the pro-inflammatory omega-6 fats, and there are so many ways to get this done. Here are some examples of low mercury, high omega-3 fish. How many of you eat sardines in this crowd? I got a few customers, great. one of the best foods for you. Rich in CoQ10, which supports cardiac health, very low in mercury and high in omega-3s. Wild salmon is great, very important to get the wild salmon. A more convenient route that's inexpensive, canned wild salmon. Wild sockeye salmon is probably best for omega-3s, and if it has the bones, which everyone squirms over, they're very soft and edible. Eat them. Eat the bones, the vertebra. Probably one of the best sources of calcium your body can ask for. And wild low mercury tuna is also available these days, everywhere. Target, Whole Foods, Costco. So that's another easy solution to make it happen. Next. Eggs, high biological value of protein, meaning it's very easy for your body to absorb the protein, so it's important during treatment as well. It has choline, which supports an anti-inflammatory diet and also may support breast health. There's some research about that as well. Beef, poultry, I get asked this all the time. And I'm not finding that much evidence to aside from it being high in protein, to support it for breast health. Grass-fed beef, of course, would be superior. And go ahead. And a lot of my patients actually come in saying, you know what, but I get grass-fed and it has a lot of omega-3s. Which is true, it has more omega-3s than conventional beef. But compared to salmon, it doesn't come close. So don't go to grass-fed beef for a high source of omega-3s. So the protein GPS summary of this tip is basically to choose beans and legumes, whole organic soy, low mercury, high omega-3 fish, eggs, and if you're having poultry, grass-fed beef, then maybe 3-4 times a week. I kind of convert it. I tell my patients, I bet it's your big 3. Let's make it the little 3. Because chicken is so convenient. People are, oh, I eat chicken all the time because it's so easy to get. But if we give you a GPS saying, okay, out of 14 meals out of the week, 7 lunches and 7 dinners, maybe 3 to 4 are going to be from each one of these categories. There'll probably only be about 3 left for the poultry and the beef. So that's how you can shift that. So there's a game plan for everybody. Not everyone's on the same page when they come in. And I don't want you to beat yourself up about that, but it's all about finding that balance. Next. Number 5 is to upgrade your meals. You can elevate any meal, and the American Institute for Cancer Research has stated that spices can transform the nutrient profile with just a pinch. We're finding that there are so many phytochemicals and potential cancer-fighting compounds in spices. Turmeric with black pepper, there's tons, cumin, cinnamon, so always look for upgrades. Next. Here are some examples, some of my favorites. Sauerkraut, rich in probiotics. Make sure you buy it active, meaning refrigerated. You can buy it in a can, but it's like, it's not active. The probiotics are not going to be active. Celery leaves. The leaves, people throw them away. It has 5 times the calcium than the stem. Nori, seaweed, great source of minerals. Keep a pack on your kitchen counter. Very inexpensive. You can get them for less than $2 to roll up that omega-3 rich low mercury tuna. Horseradish, watercress. I'll review a few with you. Next. Broccoli sprouts. Broccoli sprouts are amazing. I put a big picture here in case some of you may not know what it is. And it doesn't harbor the same bacteria as alfalfa sprouts does, although it looks like it. 1 tablespoon of broccoli sprouts has as much sulforaphane, which is the cancer-fighting compound, as a pound of mature broccoli. So again, the little things that elevate patients are always looking for magic supplements, and I'll review that in a sec, but this is great stuff. Pomegranate seeds. Don't spit those seeds, chew them. The ellagic acid is very powerful, and research does suggest it may help fight breast cancer. Watercress, indole 3-carbinol, again, supports breast health. And I can't stress this enough. Eat your food. A lot of my patients come in with a condition called vitaminosis. When I was doing research, like I'd say, Dr. Juliana, can you get me a bigger desk? Why? I don't have room for the vitamins. Tons. It's not realistic. And you know what? Those things it's fine to have some supplements. But I beg you to first ask yourself whether you have a good foundation, a good consistency is key, dietary foundation, and then you can start decorating and adding those other layers. So that's basically what you're seeing here is an x-ray, and the supplements are in the lower GI. They're coming out the same way they went in, by the way. So when researchers look at food, they study food, and food your body knows how to utilize it. There's a synergy. We call it the synergistic effects of foods. It knows how to use these nutrients in a way that these isolated compounds may not know how to do. So that is a very important fact. My husband is a radiologist. He brought this home one day. I stole it. Next. Okay, very quickly, just a few tricks of the trade. It's really hard when you have there's a big crowd and everyone's in a different place, and I really wanted to have something for everyone. So some of you may be actively in treatment, so I'm going to share a few tricks of the trade. Bloating is something I've actually been hearing a lot of, like discomfort. So here's a little simple tea that's very natural. Chamomile tea, some mint leaves, fennel seeds that helps eat up the gas, and a little bit of ginger. Comfort, anti-inflammatory. Nausea, another one. Ginger root, 2 slices of turmeric root, ginger tea bag, and you can put some cinnamon in there, which also helps with nausea. Simple, a daily morning routine. And smoothies. People are always asking, what should I put? I'm in treatment. So this is a very basic one that works for all women because it's not too high in calories. This is the base. So the basic base is half a cup of plant-based milk, 1 frozen banana, a cup of greens. Any greens will do. Spinach. It's very easy and neutral tasting. Some protein powder, a little bit of cinnamon, and a tablespoon of chia seeds. So this combination here, protein, fiber, fats, antioxidant-rich, fruits, vegetables, that combination is about 275 calories. Now, if you're undergoing treatment and you need to gain weight, then you could top it off with toppers. You can add 6 macadamia nuts crushed for 100 calories. Bang, you went from 275 to 375. And you can add a little bit more. It's very easy to climb up on that direction. And there's so many flavors that you can do. These are smoothie bowls. Next. So, like I said in the beginning, it's not what you do sometimes. It's what you do most of the time, not sometimes, that makes a difference. And I just wanted to share some principles with you on the different phases that you might be in and how nutrition can support long-term survival or prevention of recurrence, or some of you may be genetically predisposed. There's something for everyone, and nutrition really is a powerful tool that you control, as Sharon mentioned. And I have a book coming out at the end of March called Power Souping. It's a soup book. And a lot of the recipes that I shared with the smoothie bowls are going to be in there, the photography that I shared. And also, something that's more near and dear to me is a passion project that I have, which is going to be an online destination for all women who are at high risk, undergoing treatment. It's a breast health program. It's like going to be a femme community. And that is really something that I'm most excited about for my career. It's something I've been just thinking about for years. A high school student recently interviewed me and said, what's the one thing you might think of that you didn't pursue to a certain level in your career? And that was it. Wanting something comprehensive for breast health. That is really where it's at for me. So I'm really excited about that, and that's something that's going to launch in a few months, and I'll be excited to share that with you. Thank you all.